Hi everyone.
Welcome back to our channel. My name is Lillian and this is
Hansel.
And in today's video, we're going to tell you 10 common questions that are asked by people trying to switch or transition into tech. I hope you find these tips and these questions and our answers helpful, and we hope that your journey into tech has been nothing short of amazing. If you do have blockers or you have any questions that we do not cover in this video, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below, because these questions were put together from questions that we've gotten on the channel and there are DMs. All right, so let's get started.
Yes, so the very first question is how can I find freelancing opportunities? Most learners ask this question because sometimes as they learn, they want to do freelancing jobs even before they apply for full-time jobs. And my answer is using the internet. There are already freelancing websites like Upwork. There is also Fiverr. Another way to approach this is in-person opportunities as well. First, accompany your learning with creating projects. Those projects are your portfolio. If you're going into freelancing, it will be great to also have a portfolio website where no matter what it is you do, even if it's data analysis, even if it's not web design, have a website where you talk about yourself and your skills. With that website, you can approach businesses, small businesses or businesses within your reach, and that will need your service. Tell them what you do and send them the link to your website, and they could hire you for 1 or 2 projects on a freelance basis.
And also, I'd like to add that there are businesses that built their website many years ago, and the developer who built the website was maybe a freelancer and has since gone away. And these businesses would like somebody who is a developer to manage their platform. So essentially, if you have 2, 3, 4 platforms that you're managing as a freelancer, that is good money coming in. So you need to put your portfolio together and basically spread your tentacles. Don't put yourself in a box, and tell people what you're capable of, what you're happy to offer them, and continue to grow. The second point that we would like to share with you today is, which is a question that we get very often, is how do I make my CV suitable for a tech role? And I'm not going to spend so much time on this one because we have a video on this channel that we completely dedicated to writing CVs and cover letters for jobs in tech. So it would be beneficial if you check out the video, because then you have like a whole video length to help you. But just to kind of give you a little answer on this, the first thing I'd like to say is, if you've built portfolio projects or you've done little projects here and there, it would be nice to actually host these projects on the internet. If you don't know much about hosting projects on the internet, we have video about this on our channel, and you can also Google it. Essentially, for example, if you build a game for children, where can I play this game? If I want to play this game now, where can I play this game? If the game is living on your personal computer, then it doesn't cut it, I would say.
You can't put it in your CV.
You can't put it on your CV. So make sure that you have your project out there on GitHub, out there hosted on the internet. This will allow you to then put this project on your CV and put the URL on your CV, so that an interviewer or anybody can visit the URL and see the project that you're talking about. One common mistake I see people make, people trying to switch into tech, is that when they message us and say, well, we've got a project and we would really like you to take a look at it, I'm currently looking for a job, and then they send you the link to where they host it on the internet. You click on the link and everything is broken, and then you go back to them and say, hey, I can't actually access your project, your platform, or your website. And they say, oh wait, you need an admin password from me. You can't share your admin password. That's a very bad practice. So learn to host your projects online, independent of any admin passwords or blockers for an interviewer or a potential recruiter.
Yes, that's a very, very lovely one as well. Thank you for such a detailed answer. And the next question is what does switching into tech mean? Now, I can spend a full video breaking this down, but for the sake of brevity, the simple basic answer, according to what this channel is dedicated for, what we mean when we say switching into tech is we mean getting a computer based job or getting into a job that involves computing or creating digital solutions. That's what we mean. Now, this is not switching into tech, is not different from someone who is maybe not an engineer and then becoming an engineer. That's also a switch into tech. However, when we talk about switching into tech here, we are primarily focusing on um, computer-based roles, especially those relating to software development or other processes like business analyst, user researcher, designer that might not necessarily be actual software development. So that's what it means in this context. And that's why we say it's easy to do. You don't have to learn and get an engineering degree or so to get any of these roles or
Thank you
make
very
this
much.
switch.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much, Hansel.
welcome.
Yeah, so the four questions that we do get a lot is what do I actually need to switch into tech?
Mm,
And this question is relating to what are the things I need to put together. So
yes,
the answer that we have for you is not too much. You need to have internet access because the resources you need to learn with live on the internet.
yes.
Secondly, you need to have power supply to be able to power your device.
Mhm.
And thirdly, you need a laptop. I know that people sometimes say, can I learn to code with my mobile phone? But you can only go so far.
Yes,
If you start with your mobile phone with apps, I feel like they are supplemental. They supplement what you learn on your laptop so that you can also continue to learn on the go when you're in the public transport or maybe when you're like hanging out with friends. But learning programming from start to finish on your phone, I don't see how that's possible because you need to build projects which are large and you need to be able to have access to a laptop or a computer. So think about maybe your personal laptop, a personal laptop for a family member, or a public computer at a library or at a community center, but you do need a computer.
yes. And the fifth question is, what if there are no tech jobs within my locality? And I've heard people ask me these questions a lot, and that's where networking comes in. If you want to switch into tech and there are no tech jobs within your locality, congratulations. The world has made it easy with internet access. So if you're on LinkedIn or if you have access to the internet, you can apply for jobs that are outside your locality, and that will help you also get out of your comfort zone. However, I know this kind, this depends on one's lifestyle as well. If there are things within your locality that just have to keep you home, you can still do it by getting remote jobs as well. Yes, so you can work remotely while still physically living where there are no tech jobs available.
Yes, thank you very much, Hans. So number six question is where do I start? So if you belong to any coding beginners group on
Mhm.
Facebook or Twitter, you see that one common question is, hi everyone, I want to switch into tech. Where do I start? So it's a very common question, and the answer that I have for you today is we've had a detailed video on how to switch into tech
Yes,
countless times, but for the sake of this video, you need to first of all really research what you want to do.
yes,
Is not what somebody can tell you because people also ask questions like, can you tell me what I'm good at? I can't tell you what you're good at because, well, we haven't really met you. It's over the internet. So how am I supposed to know what you're good at? So you need to really set yourself what are the skills you already have that are transferable skills, and then Google tech roles. Google it, and then you see what each tech roles require, what skills it requires. Analytical skills, critical thinking, for example. If you have these skills, then you can easily match up yourself to a few tech roles that might be suitable for you. When you've decided which tech role you actually are interested in, that will then inform your next step on the courses or the skills you need to learn to be able to do that job. And then you can then move on to maybe learning on Udemy, learning on Code Academy, Free Code Camp, Coursera, EDX. Depending on what skill you need will determine what platform you find your knowledge base from. I hope that's the right word. Knowledge
Yes,
base.
it is.
Yeah, so that's my answer. But for a very long, detailed answer, please check the channel. We have a video on how to switch into tech from scratch, and you will find that helpful.
Yes, and my next point is this question people ask of can I switch, can I make a tech switch without a budget, without budgeting any funds for it? Because I don't have any funds. And the answer is yes, you can. In fact, an almost real life example is just here to my right. Yes. And well, she would have been a perfect example, only that in our case, during her tech switch, we had a very tiny little budget of £10.
£10.
Yes.
£10,
but,
yeah.
But that was because it was to purchase a course which one could otherwise still find free.
Yeah.
And we even tried the free approach initially, but we just wanted, to get more deep with the project and all that. There are people who have succeeded switching to tech for free because there are lots of free learning resources with videos we've posted about how to learn different programming languages or get into tech, learn different tech skills for free. We've made reels about them as well. There are some even with free in their names. For example, Free Code Camp. Exactly. Yes. So you can actually make the switch for free. You can learn for free. You can find networks where you join for free. You can get learning completion certificates for free as well. Now, these might not be accredited like some of the actual skill accredited platforms where you take a proper certification, like for example, for cloud computing or all that. They might just be free just to show that you have completed a course on some free websites, but they still are a proof that you have learned this skill somewhere. And the projects you make, you can host them for free. You can sell yourself to recruiters for free as well. LinkedIn is not paid for. You don't have to pay for a LinkedIn premium to be able to benefit from it. And other platforms as well, people you meet on Twitter as well. You can avoid those who will want you to pay them to answer your questions, and go for those who will freely give you the answers as long as you are respectful to them and to their time. So yes, you can actually make a tech switch without budgeting any any funds for it at all.
So the next question is question 8. I've completed learning programming. What next? Yeah, so I understand that you do want to make money eventually with the skills you've learned. So what next? Depending on the programming language you learn, or the programming language you learn, at this point you might want to start applying to jobs. I'm assuming that at this point you have managed to build some personal projects, and you have your personal projects resting somewhere on the internet where you can show someone as a proof of your skills. Now, if you have that, then this is a good time to start applying to jobs. This is one thing I also push my mentees to do. Don't have cold feet when it comes to job applications, because the earlier you start applying to jobs, the more you get used to the process, first of all. And now, don't be afraid of rejection, because when you get rejected, you get more experience as to how the whole recruitment processes work. If you apply to big companies that have 2, 3, 4 stages of interviews, and you do like one of them or two of them and you get rejected, the third one is going to be better because now you understand how these interviews work, how they are timed, and what kind of questions you should expect to be asked. So at this point, if you feel like you've covered the modules you need, you've learned, you have personal projects to your name to use as a proof of your skills, and your CV and cover letter are ready, then start applying to jobs. Do not hold yourself back and keep going from tutorial to tutorial. Start applying to jobs because you actually need to make some money.
Yes, and that brings us to the ninth question as well. The ninth question is, are there remote entry level roles? The answer to this question is yes, there are, mostly on a national level. So within your country, you can find lots of companies, even big companies, not only startups, that will be happy to employ you to work for them remotely in an entry level capacity. Now, when you think internationally, then things become a little bit tighter. In the past, before now, there are many companies that I've heard about uh, are employing people for entry level roles remotely. It used to be something out there when it wasn't so competitive. But these days, companies, before they make international employment, they will really want to make sure that before they put the effort into doing that, that this person is really worth it. So they want to look for someone who has some level of experience or display some level of knowledge. So even if you want to get a remote entry level role outside your country, outside your continent, the advice I'll give you is really prepare yourself. So do not see it as, oh, it's a first role I must get. No, you can start with the local ones, or you might even get it as your first role. It's possible if you've really done your due diligence, done all your projects, and your portfolio is looking all awesome and all that. You can market yourself to a potential employer outside, and they will see you in their lens. They will see you as someone who is around the mid-level or close to a senior, and apply and employ you for a role which might not be entry level, or which might still be entry level, but you seem to have the capacity they want that they can't find close to them within their locality. So yes, there are remote entry level roles. They are more common locally, but to get them internationally, you'll just have to put in a little more effort, and also find companies that are recruiters that do these things. I don't know any offhand, but I'm sure within your locality you might find some of them.
Thank you very much, Hansel.
Welcome.
Finally, the 10th question that we're ending with today is, what if I've tried programming and I just don't get it? That's not the end of the world. That's not the end of the world. Everybody must not be coders or
Yes.
programmers. So if you've tried coding and you just don't get it and you think this is not for me, you can still work in tech. There are a lot of tech roles out there that do not involve coding, and you have the same success rate as if you were to code. So for example, working as a UI UX designer, working as a user researcher, working as a business analyst in tech, or working as a tech project manager, Scrum Master. There's so many of them, they're countless.
Yes. And we even have a video.
And we have a video. Yeah, we do have a video on the
About-
channel
yeah.
about non-coding tech roles.
Yes.
So if you've tried programming or coding and it's just not for you, don't give up. You might be suited for something else. You just have to look elsewhere.
Yes, and just before you conclude, I'll really advise viewing that video, because in that video, Lillian also detailed the skills that will make you suitable for each of these roles. So even before you do your Google search and all, by just watching the video alone, you might already be able to identify the roles that are best suited to you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining
Thank
us
you.
today and watching our videos. We really do appreciate you. Until next time, take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.